What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, let's get off the profits and the revenues and all that stuff. The stuff that really doesn't, it matters in as far as us still getting video games to play with. But in the grand scheme of things as far as enjoyment, doesn't matter. So let's talk about something that does matter. Previews. Now, there's been a preview, if you will, of an Xbox exclusive game coming up. And not all, but most of the many media outlets have had this preview bestowed upon them. They were given a preview and they see it, and I would say 99.9% of them loved it. Oh my gosh, this is generationally turning the tide of the ding-the-dang. Of course, the game we're talking about is Hellblade 2. Come on, son. Would you even think otherwise? It's like, and the funny thing is, right, remember the first tease that they gave, and I was like, okay, of course, that's pre-rendered. That's like, it looks like real life or whatever. And then they showed another thing. They showed some gameplay. It's like, okay, that looks really cool. And then the latest thing they showed is like, okay, that looks really, really cool. Then they put out some screenshots. Oh my gosh, that can't be in game. And now everybody's had these previews, and now they're saying, oh my gosh, this is actually the start of this gen is starting now. This is the first game that made me feel like it's next gen, blah, 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 blah. Hellblade 2 is doing that. Unreal Engine 5 is doing that. And if you don't realize, if you look at it, there's a pattern. Look at the history of gaming, there's a pattern when relating to Unreal Engine. They did it for the 360 generation with the help of Clippy B, and they're doing it again now. I would say Unreal Engine, I think that was Unreal Engine 3, I think that was with Cliffy B, with the first Gears. I'm not too sure. Don't take my word for that. But, Unreal Engine 3 to 4 was like, okay, I guess it looks better or whatever, But there was a crazy texture popping issue. There's still compilation issues with that engine. So, they're popping, they're loading in a lot of textures. I don't know how it deals with AI. I don't even know if that's how, different parts of what it needs to load in any particular scene, how it affects it. They have all of these procedural generation AI techniques and stuff for the foliage and stuff. And so, some of that is AI, some of it, we could say AI, but, I think a lot of people are misconstrue that term. Procedural generation is an AI function, right? So, but it pulls from a local library. So it's not like it's going on the internet to find trees, right? And so I think that's where the disconnect really, you say AI, they think, oh, they're going to go and steal somebody's artwork on the internet. It's like, okay, well, yeah, that's certain AI, but that's not all the AI that people use in video game making. Anyway, back to the actual topic, which is, oh my gosh, these graphics are crazy. Remember when the Matrix Awakens, whatever, I think it's Awakens, right? The demo with young Keanu and young Carrie and Moss. They were there, and then all the ponies and the Duck Unicorns. Oh my God, it's only possible with the power of the PlayStation. Only possible. And just because it said it was running on a PlayStation or something. Donkey Unicorns are so stupid. Fast forward to today, where all these outlets, all these people have seen an actual game, not a demo, an actual game running on Unreal Engine 5. What are they on, 4 now or 5.2? 5.4. I think they're on 5.4. It doesn't matter. I don't know what version of the engine is where they stopped or where they, they said, okay, this is the version we're using, let's go. I don't know if they updated it since then, if it's an easy update for them, or they could do it and still, insert it into their pipeline without breaking the whole thing. Excuse me. But this is Unreal Engine 5. And so, a real game coming out for Xbox exclusively, Unreal Engine 5, looks way better than the Matrix demo. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it looks way better than the Matrix demo. I'm going to say that. I mean, you know, different lighting and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But I think it still looks better. The ponies, they just keep catching L's. The Donkey Unicorns keep catching L's because they can't brag about anything PlayStation. Because this is literally an exclusive. I mean, for now, all the people are, oh, it's going to come to the PlayStation 5. I can't wait. Whatever. I mean, that's a possibility. Or Xbox could be like, nah, this is a showcase. This is why you get an Xbox. Or this is why you get Game Pass and play it on PC. You know, they have to have some of those in their library, in their arsenal, in order to entice people to buy Xbox. Now, I understand the argument of people saying, oh, they're giving away all the exclusives and stuff, and people getting butthurt about it. Shouldn't get butthurt about it. But I think there is a happy medium where they can have some games that aren't really those pinnacle games like Hellblade 2, that industry-changing games, the metric of holy gee, look at these graphics games. The benchmark. They're literally, I think Ninja Theory created a benchmark with this game. Now, this is like what Crysis was back in the day. So it's like, oh, can Crysis run it? Oh, can Hellblade run at whatever frame, full fidelity, at 4K? That's gonna be the new benchmark. You want a game to be that because it transcends just being a good game, right? It's like, okay, it's a dope game. Oh my gosh, the graphics are so realistic. This is like what gamers have been waiting for decades. It's like, yo, I can't tell what is real and what is not real. And a lot of it, some people are like, oh, well, it's because the graphics is no. It has to do with the actual fidelity of the graphics, lighting and all that stuff, ray tracing. But also, what breaks the illusion is the animation. And I know you've seen plenty of CG animated like scenes and characters in movies where it doesn't look real because the animation is whack as hell. So it's all those things put together to make it look good. And so they did their thuck thizzle with the motion capture, the facial capture, the performance capture. It's just crazy. It's just like, we've been waiting for 3+ years for this moment to come, and it's finally coming next month. And who's giving it to you? Xbox. Not PlayStation, not PlayStation 5, none of that. Xbox. So it's like, I mean, what they gonna do? What are Donkey Unicorns gonna do? What they gonna say now? What can they say? They can't say nothing. They got literally 0 games coming out. And meanwhile, Xbox is dropping these bang. This is literally an industry-changing banger. And PlayStation is nowhere to be found. What they got Rise of Ronin. Dude, people are making fun of that game so hard. Rise of Ronin looks like a PS3 game. I mean, look. I mean, you can say that, oh, it looks like a PS4 game, but most of the PlayStation 5 games look like PS4 games because they're literally PlayStation 4 games. Boy, Sony messed up so hard this generation. They could have took that lead that they had at the end of PS4, and they could have ran with it, and they could have utterly destroyed Xbox. But they've been slipping, they've been tripping, they've been overcharging, they've been doing all the things that you're not supposed to do. All the things to dissuade many customers to be like, nah, nope, I don't want to, no. Putting out horrible products, horrible hardware. So many things they've been doing wrong this generation. And the only thing that they can hang on to is like, yo, we sold a lot of consoles, right? But that was like, now people are sitting back. If they haven't bought a PlayStation 5, they're sitting back and they're looking at the whole landscape of the industry, and they're like, what games PlayStation got coming this year? What bangers? Where the bangers at? I mean, you'd be like, oh, it's Spider-Man. I mean, I know Spider-Man helped because there's a lot of Spider-Man fans, and they're going to just buy it just for that. Like I said in a video or two before, there's a dude here at my job who just like, I like Spider-Man, bought a PS5, period. That's it. That's all you need. That's probably one of the only games he has. Doesn't have too many games, but, that counts. That counts. So, that's cool by them. But you know what? all it takes is Microsoft to be like getting the Marvel's ear, like, yo, look at MLB The Show. They were like getting like not a lot of sales, and now look at it, boom, they're getting all kind of people playing that. If Spider-Man does a multiplayer type of thing, that might be multiplat. You never know. I mean, because it doesn't make sense. There's not enough install base on PlayStation alone, so it would have to be at least on PC too. And once again, if Xbox is doing this handheld thing, and it's gonna be like Steam and all that stuff, you know, Epic Store at least. That's a real big nail. That's like a bolt in the coffin with a lock nut on it. You know what I'm saying? They just like they're killing them. They're killing them on many. They're like, okay, we got the subscription game on lock. You know, Game Pass is the default best game, best whatchamacallit. It's the best deal in gaming. Microsoft didn't make that up. The gamers made that up. The influencers made that up. So that is our reality now. Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. Period. You want a subscription service for games? Game Pass. That's what it is. Period. Right? So they're like, all right, we got the sub, we got the streaming sub or the subscription game sub thing. We got that covered, not streaming. Subscription covered, right? All right. So what else we need? Like they look over at Nintendo like, they kind of doing something right. I mean, I know their games is good and people like to buy them and stuff, but I mean, we got good games too. And people like, they can throw it in their bag or whatever and just go and they have all their library. I mean, that's kind of a smart move. Like, why don't we do that? No. I think for years and years they were scared. And then they see the ROG Ally, they see the Steam Deck, they see the Lenovo Legion Go, and they're like, we could do that. And we could do it better as far as power-wise. And we could do a better price because we can subsidize that cost because they want to move units. Not like Nintendo where they're charging up the yin-yang for underpowered console because they don't want to sell at a loss. But Microsoft got bank. They could sell at a loss in order to get them units out there in order to feed the machine, feed the industry. Loss leader, get them games going. You know what I'm saying? So I think really, I mean, you know, we've heard all the rumors and stuff, but if you think about it logically, they have to make a hand. It would be dumb of them not to make a handheld. Now I know they were gonna make the little thing for the TVs, the Keystone, but I mean, if it was just for streaming, then it's an app. Now it's an app. I think that was before they were doing the app thing, and then they got the app figured out on Samsung TVs and other TVs, and so they're like, we don't need the puck. You know, it's like all these TVs come with Roku built in, right? So why would you need a Roku stick or an Amazon? I don't know if they have Amazon TVs, but they probably do. But you know, that's the thing. It's like technology is going forward, and while they were in the Keystone era, it moved and shifted, and they're like, oh, push that out the window. We don't need it no more. Just put it on TV, so boom. I mean, I don't know where the budget went for that particularly, because it was already funded. That the Keystone was already funded. I believe they have prototypes made. But and maybe they tested it, and performance-wise, it was like pretty much the same as just the TV native app. So yeah, it's kind of cool. But I know the notion of a Switch-like Xbox, you know, same functionality. You could plug it into your TV, dock mode, and all that stuff. Because I think the Lenovo Legion Go does the same thing. Steam Deck does it too, right? Or the ROG Ally. Is it the ROG Ally that you could plug in a external GPU and get extra horsepower? I can't remember which one does it, but anyway, there's so many options to do things. And so even like, here's the thing, right? Here's the crazy thing that could possibly happen, right? So they make a low-powered portable Xbox Series whatever, a next gen, but it's basically to replace the Series X for this gen, but for next gen. Instead of doing a Series S for next gen, they'll do the portable Series P, right? And instead of copying what Nintendo did, where it's like, oh, we're gonna have the power, so the power in the dock gives the actual machine more power, so you can, you know, overclock it in a certain way. Instead of doing that, put some GPU horsepower in the dock itself, like that external GPU thing for the, I guess, the Lenovo Legion Go. Do that. Charge more. I mean, you can have like the regular basic dock where it just plays how the console plays, or you have the super duper dock, the super power dock where it's like a 3090 or whatever the equivalent of, it's a 4090 dock, and you click, and now your graphics is like, what? It literally adds an external freaking GPU to your portable Xbox. You're playing on your TV. Looks crazy. It's literally like the big boy box that they're gonna put out. Like somehow they made it so that the specs are exactly the same when you buy the big boy dock for the handheld. So they would only still need to have two SKU. Well, it'd be 3 SKUs, but it would be 2 different dev environments. One that is the handheld, the low power, and one that is the big boy. And the in between is when you dock on the big boy dock, you get the big boy performance, and the big boy docked, the handheld with the big boy dock and the big boy standalone console are the same. Games play the same. And then you have a basic dock. Of course, they're going to charge premium for a big boy dock, right? $150, $200, probably $200. Would it be worth it at that point? You're like, well, I could just buy, a regular console. But if you want to take it on the go sometimes, it's kind of... And also, you could buy it like you buy the I mean, this is all out of my brain. But like, say you buy the portable, Xbox portable, and the basic dock, right? And then later down the line, say, it's $200 or whatever. I'll buy that later. Then you buy it later, and then you have a big boy console. It's an upgrade, basically. I don't know, man. There's so many different ideas that could be. And something like that is like, I don't know if it's something like, who would use that or whatever. I mean, it's part of the use case of how Nintendo did it, right? Most people, some people don't even undock it. They just go and they have it docked all the time. They treat it as a home console. And so, I don't know. I think it fits most niches. It fits all the different use cases. But anyway, sorry, Rumble rambling. But I appreciate y'all hanging out, showing this, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the Hellblade 2 super dope graphics, best in the industry. Best it is next gen. Starts when Xbox says so, when they put out Hellblade 2. And also, I forgot to mention, the Gears 6 supposed to even look better than Hellblade. And I'm like, well, actually, I think Gears 6 is going to be a better game, obviously, because the gameplay is king. And the gameplay on Gears has always been dope. So it's like, hey, dude, Gears, I'm going to have to go back and play Hive Busters. Hive Busters, people aren't giving that game that I guess it's a standalone, expandalone, whatever they call it. It was so good. I saved it at a point where I'm fighting like the parrot moth. The parrot, it's like a parrot hummingbird, a giant parrot hummingbird monster that spit acid at you. And I'm like, yo, this is, first of all, the boss design on that was crazy. Second, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was playing, that's what I think I said, I was playing that on my, on this phone, on streaming. And I was like, no lag. I was like, yo, this is crazy, and this game is crazy. And I was like, I gotta play it on my X. I want to see what the features are. 60 frames, probably. Anyway, appreciate you hanging out, subscribe. Hit me up in the comments about the Hellblade 2, about the Gear 6, about the future of Xbox, the handheld stuff. What do you think about what I said? Does that make sense with the docks and all that stuff? And yeah, let's keep this going, man. Games is fun. Let's keep it fun. Let's talk about more games. And I'll check you out on the next one. Took the wait.